Okay guys, here we are in round 3 and we are playing Ghesizzi, and I believe this person is playing Esper Stoneblade if I recall, so we've won the die roll and we are definitely going to play first. Yeah, this is a pretty strong opening hand. Yeah, we're going to keep it. Definitely going to keep it. I wish we had a little bit more land in our hand, but next turn we're going to be able to cast a Sundering Titan. Particularly, well, we won't be, actually, because we're going to have 2 spheres of resistance down, or 1 sphere of resistance and 1 thorn, but if we draw any threat other than Sundering Titan, which is the most expensive card in our deck, we're going to be in great shape. And our opponent is actually mulliganed to 4, which is pretty good for us. I mean, it just breeds the question, do we actually even want to cast the Mana Crypt here right now? It would set us back a turn doing it, but I don't feel like at 4 we're under a lot of pressure here. The problem is I can't cast both spheres here, which is unfortunate. And if my opponent does have, I am going to play the Crypt here, and I'm going to hedge my bets. I mean, it's a question of, does my opponent want to force a will here? And I can't imagine he does, but... Alright. So, what we're trying to avoid here is Wasteland. As that sets us back significantly, but hopefully he doesn't have one. Okay, it's a good sign. Okay, so we can actually now cast a Sundering Titan. The problem with doing that is that the Sundering Titan is not getting any value, but it is a 7/10 creature, and I think it is worth actually casting it. So I am going to do that. Cost us 9 mana, so we're not getting any value out of them, but still beating down for 7 a turn is pretty significant, and my opponent is you know, that would have been a lot nicer if my opponent had no basics, but or had a basic or a non-basic in play. So this is a little bit of an odd start for me. Kind of just got our whole hand on the table on turn 2, but the good news is if he kills our Sundering Titan, he loses his land, so Wasteland is not very good right here, so I'm not going to play it right now. Try and lull our opponent into some complacency here. Okay, so he's got lots of Mox. And Lotus, too. Nice. There's Tails this turn. Did he get there? Okay, so we are now getting beaten from our own Mana Crypt here, but hopefully my opponent can't do anything here. Okay. So I don't think I'm going to do too much against my opponent here. You know, I don't think Esper really plays Wastelands because it's a very mana-hungry deck. However, it's because it's mana-hungry, I suspect that they are running their share of non-basics. So I think it's worth bringing in a Crucible at the expense of a Chalice on the draw. Otherwise, I think we're pretty stable here. So we're just going to take this in and see how it goes. Okay. Definitely a keepable hand. It's not amazing, but we can absolutely toil with their lands here, and you know, hopefully it just doesn't have a lot of... okay. Sphere would be good. Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm just going to play an Ancient Tomb and pass here. The reason I played the Ancient Tomb there is if I draw something like, you know, a Lodestone Golem or a Forge Master, it gives me an opportunity to play it. Okay, so my opponent isn't doing too much right now, which is pretty good for us. Now, what I worry about here is a Jace the Mind Sculptor next turn. Jace is pretty bad for us, but there's no way we can do anything about that right now anyways. So I think we're just going to play a Wasteland, and see, the thing is next turn we can actually, if we play the Workshop here and we play the Sol Ring, we can actually next turn play a Sundering Titan. So if he sacks all those lands, so I think I'm going to do that. I'll just expose the Workshop here because it's not essential to my game plan at all. I mean, I don't want to lose it, but the fact that I'm going to be able to do something with it next turn is pretty significant. So I've actually got 6 mana here right now, and I don't really want to cast anything. So I hate to pass, but I'm going to do it. And my hope here is that we do not see a Jace the Mind Sculptor. You know, if my opponent is sitting back on counter spells here right now... Okay, so he's going in here. We'll see what he does, but... So he did get the Jace into play, and he's drawing on it. And yeah, unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. Like, I could have cast a Duplicant last turn and attacked into it, still not killing it. And we're just not getting the value out of that. So let's hope we draw something here that's good. Crucible of Worlds is decent. Not what we're looking to do right here. My opponent just has so much land here. I don't even know that there's a lot of point in doing this, but I am going to do it anyways. Forcing him to bounce my Sundering Titan. I mean, I'd love to get rid of that Tolarian Academy, but I just don't think it's accomplishing much right now. And the nice thing about if we do get this Crucible into play is eventually, if it ever gets to that point in the game, is we can Wasteland our own Cavern and bring it back for Shapeshifter because we have 2 in our hand. Which is pretty solid. Unfortunately, we're only going to get the planes here, but... So we've got no play here. We can just F6, and hopefully he doesn't go nuts on us. But my feeling is that he does have to act. Oh, he is brainstorming. Wow. So he's got a removal spell then for our Sundering Titan. Sometimes what people don't realize about Sundering Titan is when they kill it, that it removes lands again. So he's got a removal spell then for our Sundering Titan. Sometimes what people don't realize about Sundering Titan is when they kill it, that it removes lands again. Sometimes what people don't realize about Sundering Titan is when they kill it, that it removes lands again. Sometimes what people don't realize about Sundering Titan is when they kill it, that it removes lands again. And, you know, if our opponent plays another land here, that's still pretty good value if he removes it. Unfortunately, we're still contesting with a Jace the Mind Sculptor, but... Oh, interesting. What are we facing here? Looks big. Oh, Consecrated Sphinx. So we have an answer for that. If we can get it through. Oh, he played Time Walk on me. Jeez. Didn't even notice that. So yeah, this is pretty bad for us in this situation here. Okay. I've been doing little damage here with the removal of the lands, but my opponent's beating me pretty good here. But we got to just hope that we can get this through here. And I don't think it all that likely that it's going to get through, but what we can do is we can, I mean, maybe we just try and metamorph from here. His Sphinx. I think that's the correct play. And then we duplicate. See if we can sneak him through. Perhaps I should have actually wastelanded his Flaring Academy here first, but so yeah, we absolutely should have done that. That's unfortunate. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, right? Yeah. So that was a misplay on our part in a big way. But it still sets up the fact that we can duplicate, and this is pretty contingent on us being able to win this match, is duplicating his Consecrated Sphinx here. And hopefully this will get through. So my opponent is fetching something here, which probably does not bode well. So that's the price of this, the error, potentially, of not wastelanding. So, okay. Let's see if we can get away with this here. Hopefully he didn't draw a Force of Will. So he did draw another one. So, unfortunately, I don't think we can win this game now. Because he's just drawing too many cards. So I think we're just going to move along here. Okay, I haven't seen any wastelands out of him. I think I'm just going to bring back in the Chalice and we'll go from there. I think we've got a reasonable match on our own, and hopefully we can get a good hand here. Yes, we would like to play first. It's a pretty good hand. So, I think I'm going to try and jam a Chalice turn 1. Here's the question. I mean, do we want to put that Chalice at 0 here? We do have a lot of wastelands. Let's do that. I mean, that 1 is obviously very good because of some of the removal that he has, but you know, if he lets this through, then we can easily chalice at 0, and you know, hopefully it's enough to just slow him down to the point where we can cast a Worm Coil Engine. And hopefully my opponent's not happy about that Chalice of the Void. Oh, what a draw. Next turn we're going to be able to cast the Worm Coil uninhibited. Okay, seems good. So obviously an STP here is really bad for us, but I mean, there's not much you're going to do about that. An Esper Deathblade actually does run them, so yeah. Fair enough. Tanglewire does buy us time here. I think I am just going to strip mine him though, and we'll take away his blue source. Hopefully he doesn't have an Ancestral in hand. Okay, so we did get a Brainstorm off. So we should be getting quite a bit of value off our Tanglewire here, and hopefully we can get into a threat. We're in a bit of a tough predicament here, even though we've got the board locked up quite nicely, because we're very reliant on being able to draw threats to be able to take our opponent down, and we're quite a ways away from doing that right now, so hopefully we can draw something. And so this turn, my opponent is going to have to sack his turn and go for a basic. Yeah, otherwise I'll get him with a Wasteland if he taps down. And hopefully he doesn't have any land here. But I suspect he does. I mean, that Brainstorm was probably pretty good for him. Nope, no land. Threat. Okay, Sphere's pretty good. Just puts him that much farther under, which I'm pretty happy about. And you know, if he misses here again on land, he didn't. So he's starting to get out ahead of us here. Need a threat. Chalice of the Void. Chalice of the Void is pretty good. I think I just set it at 1. Yeah, I'm going to set it at 1. And if we can draw another one, setting it at 2 is pretty awesome. But he can't do anything about that. He may be trying to think he can, but he can't because he's underneath 2 spheres. What we don't want to see is, I mean, a card that would be the absolute death of us would be something like Dark Confidant. a dream for us right now would be able to draw a Sundering Titan. Okay, so we're just gonna Wasteland here. All right, so let's get a good draw here. Lodestone Golem would be one I'd really like. Okay, not very good, I got to admit, but it does have an effect on the board here in a significant way if it lands. So I guess he's countering that. Force of Will. That's fine. All right, we're definitely we're getting lucky that he's not doing anything on us. Draw, come on. Thorn is okay, I guess. Something. Like, we really don't want to be drawing lands at all here. Okay. There's the good one. Let's see if we can sneak them in. I mean, it's Force of Will is the only card he can have. Yeah, so that's pretty lucky for us. Hopefully he missed again here. Yes! Alright, that feels good.